Hey everybody, this is Jaxie, and I am back with Let's Play Decisive Campaigns, Warsaw to Paris, and this is the Case White scenario. So last time we played September 1st and 2nd, and right now it is September 3rd. This is turn 2, and the weather is beautiful. So off camera, we looked at the casualties. I just didn't want to show you guys the loading screen and the AI resolve. And right now, with under 5,000 for us, 26,000 for them. We are at 1% casualties. They are at 4. For the whole campaign, if you're doing that, if Germany stays under 10%, they don't receive any penalties. So we are going to resolve turn 2. And normally what I would do to start off is click on this right here, this history. And you can go through and you can do every single step that they do. What I like to do is you can just hit next battle and see. And right now we lost 100 men and 25 mortars, which is pretty rough. 3rd Army, that part of the 11th Division, that's a lot of their mortar support. There was a shelling there on the other part of 11th Division, nothing doing. More shelling on 3rd Army. They were not having fun. 100 men. 300 men down by 8th and 10th. 200 men over there. More 3rd Army. No tanks, though. I was really happy to see that. Lair had nothing. And they had one attack down here on the far flank of 8th Army. They lost 800 men. We lost nothing. So now that we've done that, it's going to be very similar to how we did turn 1, but a little faster. I'm going to do recon because I want to finish cutting this Danzig corridor, and I want to try to get bridgeheads here, finish off the 27th Division. If I can cut off parts of the 16th and 15th, I'm going to. So let's look at Kulm and take a look. So right now, from what I can see, there are no units in there. We don't have a lot of recon in that area. I want to see how deep they are around Bromberg, and we lost some planes. A lot of AA. So this is dug in light urban. They have artillery support. They have flak support. I'm probably going to want to bypass, take these roads, cut in where I can, or go around on this side, maybe just push the whole of 4th Army to Kulm. Let's see if I can even, just a tiny bit. And we did find something. So that's how I'd usually start. Let's do the recon for 3rd Army. And I like this little Kempf push. Let's see what's behind Thorn. Very little. They have blown these bridges. That's not good, but they're starting to pull up reserve units and National Guards and things like that. Let's also see if we could get behind these forts. Nothing behind there. So that's the beauty of recon. It lets you know kind of what you're up against. I'm just going to do the same thing over here. For these guys, let's see what's up here. A lot of support units, but the actual crossings are pretty weakly defended. If I can get across, I won't start facing units until we get closer to Lodz, and if my recon has the range, let's see what we can do. Pretty weakly held. And nothing more there. They're not going to reach anything. So, turns wide open. Usually when I'm not showing things off and doing explanations, I kind of work my way around with 3rd Army first. And that's what I'm going to do. With Gruppe Brand, I really don't want to get in a fight if I don't have to. So, I'm going to try to bypass. They put nothing in this town. Let's see. Sometimes, and they have a chance to break it, but you can actually do encirclements with individual units. And we're going to go for that. Just any cavalry brigade we can split off, we will split off. These guys are in the open. It might be worth hitting with artillery and just trying to drive a wedge here. If we can drive a wedge right at a bridge crossing, it will look good. And they lost 400 men. I really can't argue with that. They have 0 entrenchment, knocked readiness down just a bit. I don't think we have the numbers to take them in a straight up fight. And if I move the 2nd Regiment of the 206th Division, they can actually start pushing up and drive a wedge in. I'm going to save these dive bombers for something a little more substantial. I'm going to check the stack value, but I could probably wait another turn. I'll think about it. I'll come back. I'm going to go down to the Vodrig Corps, and for these guys, same thing. I'm very cautious with 3rd. I want to sidestep. I got a crossing there. Slowly wheel around. Got to be careful to have some blocking units, but start wheeling around, get my cavalry in position. I'm going to pull all of the cavalry over, work on flanking, and 12th Division can be my blocking division. Put them there, and I'm even going to have the rest of 1st start sidling around. 12th can hold it together. I trust them, but turnabout's fair play. As long as they are going to shell us, I think we'll throw it right back. I'm going to move that artillery there because it looks like they have no support. And wow, 400 men plus support artillery plus machine guns. I wasn't planning on doing this, but actually this unit's so weak, I might be able to bump them off just with 1 regiment. And I do easily. 500 men, no casualties. So I'll push up. This is probably a bigger hole than I should put in. Against a human player, if they really want to sacrifice 20th Division, they could just come up, attack my artillery. But I'm not going to worry about that with the AI. I have them on slow. They will take a little more time, consider their moves, but overall, if you really want a Poland that's going to make you work for it, maybe not win, but make you work for it, I would play by email. I don't want to move the 1st Regiment of the 11th Division just because a 2 hex gap is a little bit too much, but I am going to have the 61st start wheeling against this isolated regiment of the 8th. He's by himself. What's he going to do about it? Throws. I'll even throw these guys here. Why not? Throw some shells at the 8th. Because it's all about prying holes. I'm not going to take any of these forts. And this town right here, it's too close. It's only a 1 hex gap. But if I can wheel them away here, if I can peel around here, just encircle that. No reason to fight it. It's not fun. It's not how this game is meant to be played. I mean, the game is called Warsaw to Paris. It's invoking fast campaigns and top-billing capitals. It's not about getting in the fort fights and going slow. Have some reserves there, and I could attack this guy, but I don't really have to. He's in a bad position, and I'm going to start just trying to drive these wedges. They have a little bit of artillery support there, but I can split them off. And now, that's 1 regiment. Not going to be getting supplies, not going to be getting morale. 4th is in danger of getting cut off too, and I think I'm going to start working on that. Engineers, probably dangerous to throw them at a city like that. But right now, we are just trying to sever this corridor, trap as many divisions as we can. This crossing, one regiment, probably too much for Kempf by itself. But what you see, we now have some pockets forming. And I don't think 4th Army can get down here yet. I'm actually going to move 4th until I see what I do with the rest of Kempf. Maybe something will open up. Maybe something will surprise me. Now you'll notice what I'm doing here, and probably didn't want to move into the marsh, but it'll be okay. These little colored ranges right here show you the command power of your HQs. So right here there's a 65% combat bonus based off Walter Petzel, and if he is not in this green range, the units won't get as much. So you always want to make sure your HQs are in range. Now, I can't really do much with 3rd Army because Brandt's group and 21st Corps, they're just too far away. So I'm going to have to sacrifice one or the other or have them both in yellow. And for now, until I see how the campaign plays out a little more, I'm going to take them in yellow. Not too concerned. And this is just cutting corridors. Even though we have the start of encirclements, the smaller the pocket, the easier it is to break down and isolate. When a unit will finally break if it doesn't reach the shatter point is when it has absolutely nowhere to retreat to. And so, even though I could have set up an attack immediately there with an extra Grenzer, I just want to reduce these pockets, get some of these rail lines open, have lots of options for our supplies, and go from there. 27th is done, and I think I'm actually going to keep driving. Now, we don't have a ton of recon here, but it's over 100, so I think this means this city's actually open. It's just the zone of control being larger than mine. I'll get closer and see. I'm going to throw shells at... Well, they're defended. I could have thrown shells here, but it's light forest. It's already cut off. It's not really a concern of mine. And for units that I hope to isolate, since I have some nice things here, I don't need to waste the counter barrage. So, wheeling around, playing mobile. And this poor little Panzerabteilung, they already got hit with some artillery. I misspoke earlier saying it was Lair, but that's okay. And Kulm is undefended like we thought. Beautiful. So, I'm just going to keep moving up infantry first, but really moving into 4th Army, we're starting to already have pockets. This is where the game gets fun. The first turn, you have to take your couple thousand casualties, blast open some holes. But after that, you're just going to start seeing it open. I'm going to group move for some of these units. Some of them I want to get in immediate contact. 32nd has already been doing work for us from the last turn. Have them come up and press. This game isn't like War in the East. There's not a passive casualty for skirmishes. So if you have units in contact, they're not going to just run attrition on each other, which is really, really nice. I could move those artillery units up, but there's so much here. They're so well defended. Instead of wasting them, I'm just going to toss some shells. Now, one thing they added in Case Blue, and we will be playing that eventually, they added supply to simulate how you build up for these attacks. But Case Blue was much more of a slog. It unfolded a lot more slowly. And this game, it's quick campaigns. They're just assuming that it doesn't matter, that you have everything you need. Now here, Guderian actually has a card Panzer II, and it provides a good 40% boost to armored attack. I could use it here, but even light urban is going to scare me off, and I'm just going to try to come around. I bet I can shift the HQ unit, go around this rail line and road line. Those bridges aren't going to do me any good anyway. So I'm going to save that. The infantry, they're too far away. Even if they can get into contact here with the 3rd Division, it's not going to be worth it. They're going to have such little movement by the end. Won't do us any good. So save them. Now, Army Group North does have a morale boost. And if you notice, even my good units start with 50 morale, and then they just gain. Some of the best ones, 78. I'm going to go and say 3rd Panzer, you can use a little boost. It's going to play it for the whole division, so all these units get a big boost. They're going to fight better. They're going to be less likely to retreat. I know 10th Army is supposed to be the main spearhead, but I love 4th Army. When I do group play-by-email games with multiple armies, I usually end up with 4th. I have a soft spot for them. Artillery in the city, it's not going to do much. They have a lot of entrenchment. I could attack, but I'm going to let them sit, let them stew. Same thing here. They have so much entrenchment. I want to wait. Now that they have nowhere to retreat to, have full action points on all 3 of those units, then go in. Let's see if we can't cause them to pull back. It's not always super efficient to encircle with infantry, and I always do this. This is a bad habit. I wouldn't recommend this against people online, but using engineers just because they're motorized and they're fast. But Poland, you can retreat, or you can get encircled. They're still in range. Keep making my nice little salients. And you guys will see, this is way faster now. I don't have to do as much consideration. The more the game plays out, the more those holes open up. Sometimes near Warsaw or Lodz or some of the big cities, you'll have to reconsider, but really it's a quick game. And right here, they're going to spread these units out. They're not going to give me an easy encirclement. So they're going to keep getting away until I can bring something else in, or until I can get them to stand and fight. With only 100 casualties there, I don't think 35 action points is going to be enough. But continuing to push in. This cavalry unit, they are dead set on defending that city. Let them. And even though this is a big rail crossing, this isn't the bulk of my units. I'm going to have more arteries in here. I'm just going to let them chill. It might not show up on the casualty statistics. It might not be as pretty, but you know what? They can sit in there, have some tea, contemplate their lives. Won't bother me at all. And if they want to leave me victory points and an undefended crossing, I am never going to begrudge them that. Nor will I say no to shelling in an open field. 200 casualties. And I don't want to... This is a lot of meat here. If I put these engineers too far forward, they will counterattack, but I'll get some zone of control. I'll threaten a little. Make them think about which of these 2 crossings they want. I don't need extra artillery until something more decisive is there. Group move. Take this crossing at Varta and get a nice little salient here. If they're not going to pull out 10th Division, then they are mine. Now, one thing, as I get closer here to 10th Army, I do have to be mindful of supply routes. I haven't really clicked it at all, but you can look at HQs and you can look at the supply chain. And they'll show you that for certain terrain types, supplies will start running out. Again, in a campaign this short, it's not a huge deal. But one mistake that new players can make is they can start letting too many units sit in these cities, block rail depots, block things like that, destroy bridges, and you will eventually have some supply issues and you got to start clearing out those pockets. When you select an HQ, you can click any hex and it'll show you the action points for supplies. If you're under 250, most of your supplies are going to get there. It shouldn't be a problem. If it starts going over that 250 mark, you're going to have to move your HQs, move your upper HQs, and start shifting supply lines. Now, as much as I know my infantry could just shove these guys out of the way, I don't really have to. I can take the 19th, and 10th is mine. Let them rot. I'll keep 19th together, move them up. And because the 17th is already here and already kind of in between, I'm going to let the 17th handle it. The Liebstandart Adolf Hitler have a move a crossing there. It's kind of a waste to have a mobile unit do that. They have to break out of contact, break out of zone of control. Going into and out of contact does count for extra movement points. But it's also already taken some hits. It's already been in some combat. I already took the city I wanted and wanted to deny them. So, done their job. Keep moving. You do get a little bit of a bottleneck. I know some people might be a little more organized with their units and make them look nicer than me. I have some things on top of each other, but I've pocketed units, I've taken my crossings, and the nice thing about the game, it gives you the tooltip if your attack is not going to be... I don't think this artillery can reach anything useful. If your attack is not going to be super efficient, it'll tell you. It'll let you know you're not getting the division bonus, you're not getting any other bonuses. Actually, I can put them here. And half AP is not bad. More casualty, like the longer combat goes, the more casualties will be assessed. But for now, it's pretty heavy stuff. You can see 800 casualties plus support equipment. That was a pretty good choice. I don't think I have a lot of infantry that can reach up there and attack, but I am going to use my motorized infantry. Start pushing these guys. I want more of this crossing to be open so I have room to maneuver. I know I'm not going to want to fight through here. So let's take the 29th and start bullying the Polish 28th Division. There. Get a nice 2-on-1 from two different sides. 300 men. Killed way more and shoved them right out of the way. If I can do the same thing here, I'll have a nice crossing. So I'll move up. Artillery support. And it's infantry in the open, so you know what, I'm going to use the detached Panzer Regiment. Add 2 regiments of artillery. See what we can do. Not bad, but since this is a crossing, I want one of my dive bomber units. Leave nothing to chance. They had a little bit of flak I didn't see, but 500 men. Killed the tankettes, lost a little bit of air. But this crossing is going to be mine. It's understacked, but should be fine. Cost me 100 men. Shove them right over. And now I have a demoralized unit blocking the crossing. Just gonna drive that wedge in. With my panzers, I still think I'm gonna take this crossing and just wheel north. I mean, an argument could be made for coming up to this crossing, but they look like they're moving some reinforcements in there. I'm just gonna have my tanks rush and take what I've been given. I'll put my light regiment up here. Give them a chance. Keep my units together a little bit more. And we're making good progress. We are getting over some of the rivers. We're getting closer. A lot of this game is rivers. Defenders get a major bonus when defending rivers. I might just want to bypass. Check recon. Okay, that town should be undefended. So let's just threaten them. See if they want to stay. I thought about it. Probably could have. But sometimes it's better safe than sorry. Warsaw can become a slog. It'll get very World War I-y if you let it. And so I have my mobile units, and they're definitely where the action is. They're going to do most of the work. They're going to make most of my pockets. But if there isn't anything as far as infantry, if I don't have good artillery, if I don't have good strong infantry left, there just won't be any units to actually push into and take the city. Flak, I'm going to keep my mobile units as much as I can. Those are fresh reinforcements, nothing doing there. Engineers I want to have here. I'm going to rebuild these bridges as soon as I get a chance. And I actually want this artillery here with most of my tanks. They're going to follow the tanks over once I break something here. If I had more recon, I could check out this area. It looks open. It looks like I could do something nice there, but I won't be able to. These guys right here, they're having some HQ color prompts pop up. Even though they're right by 8th, we can check supply if we're worried. 69 out of 250, so it's giving us a warning, but for now, no problems, and just onward. They're going to give us that. Beautiful. I like to move when I'm not sure about something and I don't have any adequate recon. One unit at a time. If it does get ambushed, it could be worse. And that'll give me some options. Now that's a threat. If I wheel that way, I can get a crossing there. And look at how deep some of these tendrils are getting. It is a light panzer division, but I just can't pass this up, being able to take this much zone of control and flip it. I do have to make sure that the 15th comes with. You can see that that was going to turn red, that they were going to have some issues if I didn't move it. Have them follow their sister division. And now let's see if we can cut off the 7th. It'll be all of the 7th and some of their cavalry. So, right there. Big encirclement. Getting 10, 20,000 men at a time. Poland's going to have some issues. Most of these, the way I'm setting them up, should hold. I hope they hold. If they don't, it's not a big deal because they're still going to have to run. 10th Army. Readiness. I don't think a lot of my units have seen enough combat to be a problem, but I might deploy it on the 29th. Just because I see a little bit of yellow. Keep them in high green. The cards come back, but like we said last video, it takes a little while. This core is going to be boring just because I don't want to hit these guys. Easier to encircle. I have to have something as a block. If it wasn't Light Force, it would be nice to drive a wedge, but this right here for 14th Army, all of these southern units, 5th Panzer is really it. Down here, you get 2nd Panzer, but you gotta try to make some pincer out of them, and it's tough. The south really is a slog. You're going through these mountains. See here, I can either fight through, can't even wheel around, and it's all low mountain terrain, so they're gonna get defensive bonuses if you go through it. I just have to wheel 45th around and make them decide, do they want to get encircled or not. I can shell, see if maybe 2 regiments of artillery and all of 7th Division can push through. 99 entrenchment. It's just too much. I'm not getting through those mountains. They know it, I know it, but they're going to get cut off. Right there, beautiful. I'll save him. Mountain division's really mobile in this sort of crappy terrain. So if I run any units here, like that, I might be able to start getting in a encirclement. Just like that. Again, you get interesting things with the I go, you go. You can see how some units move, kind of let things play out. It's a little weird, but I prefer that, at least with War in the East, it doesn't have that like single turn isolation. So when we get to Barbarossa, there are some interesting things Russia can do, and cutting off supply lines for the Germans for just a single turn won't totally immobilize their panzers. It also isn't an insta-kill on Russian units. I think it's more fair. Units will slowly degrade. It's only 2-day turns, so it makes sense in that sense of it. But let's see if we can shove you. You're holding up too much armor. I don't like that. Maybe we'll score something lucky. And I'm going to use my level bombers. They do okay on cities. I tried attacking things in the open and reminded myself why I don't. Took out some anti-tank, but entrenchment's still so high. 300 casualties. And as long as I burn the movement points for that, I might try. Let's see what you have, 3rd. 400 men. Little tough, but sometimes you gotta do that to open up these rail lines. And now these panzers have some more options. It's light forest. It's not the open, but if you look real closely, and I'll zoom in, a panzer division in 1939 is actually composed of 2 panzer regiments, right here, focusing mostly on tanks, and they do have an attached infantry regiment. These units do fight differently. These cards right here and these packets of men and machines, that's what actually determines combat. So just because it has panzer over it doesn't mean you can't use the infantry regiment part. And that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to take a single infantry regiment. It should be all it takes. Although those movement points, I don't like that. Let's do a mixed unit here. And Ooh, that was some rough combat. 4th Light Division didn't like that, but 2nd Panzer didn't mind. Shove them right out of the way. And we'll be able to cut off 2nd. 2nd's not going to be able to recover from that. Let's scout a bit. Oof. See, the south, even though those are reserve units, that's going to hold me up. Nothing doing there. I don't think any units start in there, but might as well open rail lines. Move up. And here we go. This is a little extra beef. Put it here so it's not just a salient, so I actually have a line forming. And we're getting pretty close to finishing the turn. There are a lot of counters just because of the regiment size, so I always like to just go back through, make sure I didn't miss anything, regret anything. Now that I've seen it open up, I'm going to look more at 8th Corps and see if we can wheel around, and we can. Because they're coming out of contact, I can't quite close it, but if I can get this salient at some point, if I can bag all of those units, that would be huge. That would make the south much less of a slog. And pull the rest of the 28th, because I smell that now. That's blood in the water. I cannot turn that sort of thing down. Can't do it. Let's have my artillery follow the tanks. It could probably score some hits this turn. That's fine. I want it ready for the next turn. And these guys open up my nice little tendril, and I'm going to press. 7th is going to have units contacting it from all sides. This is a pretty secure pocket. 23rd and 55th would be crazy to try to cut me off here, because then I'm just going to get the big encirclement, and I would not mind that one bit. Throw some shells on the edge. Not a great result because of the city, but do what I can do. I have some air units I didn't need just because I've been so focused on encirclements and so conservative. I think if I'm doing what the game wants me to do, I'm going to keep focusing on 8th Army. But we have some more encirclements threatening, cut at least chunks off of a couple divisions, parts of other divisions, and I think it's going well. I think we have some progress. We've captured over some rivers, and now I just get to decide what fun to have with this Danzig corridor. And by that, go around. We are not even going to mess with them. We have plenty of rail open. I have roads down here, so I'm just going to bypass. That's the name of the game. I could probably be more aggressive. If you play, you could try it, see what happens. But I don't think there's any escape. 2nd, it's going to cut around the other way. And just pinch this off. I am really happy that they had nothing over in these two areas. They just let me have that basically for free. And I'm going to take it. That's part of being a commander. You make these plans, you draw out all these beautiful things on maps, and then as soon as the enemy moves, you're going to have to adapt. What I like about this game is I always feel like there's just enough information that I can make any decisions I need to. I don't feel like anything is hiding from me. There's a lot of numbers, but you've seen when I'm not breaking down and explaining every little thing. What it looks like in real time is I just kind of glance around and say, oh, okay, they could cut that off, but I don't even care. I want to threaten. Like, I'll look at entrenchment or readiness, and that's about it. It really doesn't require much else. Tell you what. Let's hit him, nope, with some level bombers. Because I'm going to want this crossing eventually. These reserve units will just sit in cities, build up their entrenchment. Lost planes to the BAR. So thank you, America, creating the greatest anti-air weapon of our generation. Right there. But I don't even know. Usually for my Stukas, I would save them for the spear point. None of that's worth hitting. That's light forest. I guess I can just pick on some units over here. Why not? Cause some casualties. Maybe I'll get a breakthrough. Playing the wheel around again. Just hit Polish morale. If I have any level bombers. Killed 100 men, accidentally destroyed that bridge. Probably not worth it, but I have engineers in the area. Not super concerned. Bridges actually have hit points, and there's a couple ways to destroy them. You can have artillery combat in an adjacent hex. You can have plane bombardment. Or you can use units and actually build or restore a bridge. Certain units will build bridges better than, or destroy bridges, I should say, better than others. Engineers are your bridge builders. That's who you're going to want to use for that sort of thing. I'm not going to throw artillery at them. There's no point. Not bad for 2 rounds. I'm going to let them stew in their pocket. It wasn't fully complete at the beginning of this turn. I'm going to let them sit. There's 1 unit. These guys right here, Legion divisions, if I have any air left over, let's put them on notice. I don't want them making any counterattacks. Any division with, if you see, their morale can be quite high, and I want no part of that. These guys, it's probably just my amount of recon. Hit them. A lot of this game, even with the fast campaigns, use your artillery, use your air, grind them down. It's not always worth it to grind units down with infantry, because they'll take so much damage, they'll lose readiness, you'll have to just wait. But you can definitely grind down with air and artillery. And in Operation Barbarossa, when we play Barbarossa, for Russia, on the other hand, grinding attacks can be great. So let's just pick an unfortunate unit. I'm tired of this cavalry running. My last little dive bomber. Take a bunch of casualties, hurt their morale, hurt their readiness. They might not move as far. But yeah, pretty good progress today. We've pocketed a lot of units. We haven't reduced a whole lot. Poland has lost 10,000 more men. We're up to 6,000, so balance still very much in our favor. We have the Danzig corridor, and we might even get another nice pocket here if 3rd Panzer can break out. These forts might just let us go around them. Easy stuff. So next time we'll do turn number 3. I hope you guys are enjoying so far. Feel free to leave comments. Let me know what you want to see, other games, things or explanations in this game, questions about how or why I'm doing what I'm doing. But other than that, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys